Hi friends, welcome to Color Century Ranch. My name is Amanda. We have an exciting day today. I'm going to be planting some things. Richard says good morning. And we're also going to be getting ready for our first farmers market small animal sale of the year. So stick around. I don't know if that'll be in this video or the next, but either way, we'll bring you along. But first, we obviously have to feed these starving animals because they think they're dying. Hi, baby. There's some water. I forgot the scoop in the house. Let's see if there's another one around here. Gotta go get the scoop. You're gonna drink out of that one. We have multiple water things around the farm that the animals just kind of share. We originally set it up so, you know, the turkeys would have their water out here, the chickens would have their water, all of that. But then, since they free range, for now, garden season's upon us, we're going to have to figure out some solutions. They kind of just drink out of everyone's. Hey, Butterball. Let's check on the brooder. I always forget to shut that. Then I get in here and eat the food. Hi, baby chicks. How are you? So these are the two chicks that I held back from our last hatching. I decided I wanted to keep these two little yellow ones. They'll probably be white, I assume. I mean, they could be golden, but I think they're going to be white. And that was just simply to have some variety in my chickens. And I think they have the furry feet, so I don't know. I just thought they were super cute. And most of my chickens are like a black or a gray. I do have one Buff Orpington, but I had two white silkies and I lost them. And so I kind of missed having little bright white fluffy chickens running around. So we kept those back. Yeah, that's the chick store bag. So many bags around here. Loose track. Like their water is okay. It's hard to see. I'm sure in here on the camera with the red light, but it's brighter in here than it looks. Okay, there you go, babies. There you go, babies. Hey, Richard. All right, you're next. Speaking of babies, so those are the two chicks that I kept from the one before last hatching. They are kind of a grayish black, but they are, as you can see, part silky. I think that they are a cross between these two. So anyway, I just thought they were super cute. The one actually with the lighter color beak may be a different chicken or a different dad. No, I don't know. But anyway, I was just trying to up my furry feet, friends. I want to get some more Americanas too. Richard, I'm getting it. Come on. There you go. There you go. All right, everyone. Enjoy your breakfast. Have a good day. Make good choices. Yeah, you, Richard. Make good choices. All right, let's check the quail. Maybe it looks like they're doing good. I think they have plenty of feed. Let's shake the bucket to make sure. Oh yeah, you got plenty of feed. Hi, babies. Okay, we have 3 little quail over here that we've separated just temporarily because they are going to go to the small animal sale tomorrow. If they don't go to the small animal sale, I am going to keep them separated because these are our original Cotornix quail, and these are jumbo Cotornix, and these are the Celadon that lay the blue eggs. So they're not laying yet. I just checked, and they should be laying anytime, but they're not. But anyway, I just put these in here temporarily so we can get them to the sale and get them separated. If not, then I will put them in one of the larger cages with an actual like house. We just did this to get things prepared for this week. Okay, it's not raining. It's so windy. My hair's everywhere. I should put on a hat. It's been so windy. So that's all my chores for this morning. The barnyard, the goat and sheep, they have plenty of food and water. It looks like. Hi, little kitten. The rabbits, our son will take care of, and the cattle we saw in one of our previous videos. We have moved to the back pasture, so Jacob will go check on them a little bit later. But they are living their best life on that new grass. I think you can actually, if you can see them over there. It's about 60 acres away, so hopefully you can see that. I can't tell in the little viewfinder, but they're over there at the pond. I can see them. Before we get started planting, oh, check out these Easter lilies. Are they not just, they're just the sign of spring. There's an extra little one. I need to dig up this one and move it. Also something else really exciting blooming. I'll show you. This is my lilac bush. So this was my parents' lilac bush. Every one of my prom pictures was taken in front of it. It was just always, my favorite. And last year when Jacob I've told the story before in some of my previous videos, but last year Jacob was doing a job near where my parents lived, and he took the tractor and dug it up. I was having a really rough week. It was when I was dealing with some health issues and different things, and so anyway, he transplanted the lilac bush from my parents' old house. Both my parents have passed away. My dad passed away last year. So yeah, so anyway, super excited to have this. What's she doing? What's she doing? Is your kid driving you crazy? I totally understand that. Jacob's in the tractor doing something. He's got his grapple on, so we had my tripod now. We had broke one of the fittings on one of the hydraulic hoses a week or so ago. So he must be getting that all installed and everything, and getting ready to go feed hay. Not with the grapple. He's just doing that with let's fix that. Okay. Hopefully he'll be using that grapple maybe later today to be building some new raised beds. The orchard trees are looking nice. I watered them last night and the ground is still wet. You can see that. They're looking good. Okay, it looks a little janky. I know it has a lot of farm projects tend to do. I mean, not all farm projects look janky, but I feel like when you're on your farm, when you're on a homestead, trying to get the tripod here, video live, and trying to use what you got, some projects look a little put together than others. So why does this raised bed have this weird mesh around it? Well, that's because the chickens are currently, and the turkeys, are currently free ranging. Still don't think that turkey's feeling really well over there. I may have to put her in, and she doesn't like it, but give her some electrolytes and see what's going on with her. So the turkeys and chickens are currently free ranging, and so instead of trying to build something, we don't have a really good way to keep them in the barnyard. I do have some electric netting that we may use. We could build a actual enclosed run. I don't really want to do that just because that does limit the amount of space they have. So I would prefer to do something else. But I mean, I will. I mean, everything has to kind of, coexist. And so garden season, we will have to protect the plants. But for this last year, okay, I'm back. And as you can notice, I'm wearing a hoodie. I had to go help Jake with a project. Not that I minded, because the project was taking some measurements for our hot tub. So hopefully that is in my near future. So yeah, this is a little janky. But it's okay. It's all right. It worked. It actually worked really well. Kind of crazy enough. This was like, I don't know, $15 or less at Menards. And then we have, we always have electric fence posts for the different various fencing projects. Let me reach around you there. Sorry to get up your business. So, what we got here? So, I picked these up. I've been starting seeds. We've been talking about it. I didn't start these. So, what happened? And what lessons can we learn, right? So, I started a whole bunch of my brassicas, my lettuce and kale and spinach, and the windowsill, so that it wasn't in a planter thing, so it wasn't on heat mats and grow lights and everything. And it has went through 3 catastrophic events. Oh, and I don't think I finished that. I got distracted by the hot tub. The reason I have the hoodie on is because it is warm out here, but the wind is kind of chilly, and the wind is like 25 miles an hour. I know that there is spinach. As you can see, that's pretty obvious. I had planted some lettuce things that didn't really go too well over here. I don't know for sure what those are. I did plant some radish seeds, so it could be the radishes. We might just make some room, and this is why I video this, because I'm terrible about documenting it, but I will video it and then I can look back. So I've seen several gardening video channels that ended up starting out like that they really just did it to document what they did. So let's see here. How do I want to do this? I know the spinach I want there. The lettuce I kind of started there, so we could probably keep going with that. I don't know what is planted there, so let's give that some room to do its thing. I don't think, I'm trying to identify it. For one, it doesn't look very healthy. I just pulled it up. I don't know. I'm not sure. I did plant some radishes, but I don't actually see them. So it's better to lay it out, like gently lay it out, to figure out where we're going to have some things. That is probably, it doesn't really look like kale. Did I plant any of the kale? Maybe I didn't even plant any of the kale. I don't know. I do think I'll plant the Brussels sprouts down on the end. They take much longer to produce than these other things. So yeah, let's set those down there. All right. We're going to plant those down there. And then I do want to plant some radishes. I could tuck them in as we go, right? I think it's wrapped around my tripod. So we could plant the spinach, because I'm almost certain that's spinach there. All right, we could do lettuce, we could do there, and then we could do kale. I don't know if I'm supposed to plant kale by the Brussels sprouts, if that's not the best situation. There's the best situation, and then there's do what you got. Let's just do what we got. It'll be fine. Right? Always remember, this is not a how-to channel. This is a follow along. See how it goes channel. All right, that looks like a good plan. Subject to change, as always. You know, and the truth is that unless you have a super short growing season, and I know some of you do, and that's, you know, then yeah, you can miss windows. And, you know, you can miss windows to start seeds, and then just go ahead and buy plant starts. That's okay. You can, you know, that is a thing, but, you know, it doesn't have to be. It could be that you grab some compost. You know, whether it's 2 weeks later or whatever, you know, Jessica Sowards always says seeds want to grow, and I fully believe that. And so I would encourage you that if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I didn't get started yet, or mine doesn't look like that, or whatever, to just jump in and do it. Just jump in and see what happens, like what happens with our YouTube channel, right? Or with our gardening and anything that we're doing on our YouTube channel. Okay, let's see. I've got 2 plants left. Yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and stick them right here and right there. Okay, we can always come back in and tuck something else fun in the holes, right? Let's get some compost. So yeah, there's always, I think that there's a few subjects, I don't know, maybe there's always different in all subjects, but there's a few subjects that tend to get people riled up about things. You know, you have to do things perfectly. I found a big root from something last year. Gardening and farming seems to be, you know, like one of those things. Oh, you know, if you're not doing, you know, if you're not doing everything this way, if you're not planting seeds on this timeline, or you know, farming on farm animals, if you're not feeding, you know, this or whatever, there's always an opinion. But you know, I've really learned that you can do things wrong and still be successful. Like, now don't get me wrong, there are better ways of doing things, and we are trying to learn from people with experience who have been successful, who have farms and things that we want to be like. But I would just encourage you to try it. Just try it, and you'll learn along the way. And even if you fail, like our garden has been a pretty big, what I would consider a failure the last couple of years due to the lack of soil, we still had a decent harvest. I still grew quite a few pumpkins. I still was able to make enough peppers for hot sauce and things like that. So even though it was a failure, as far as like my standard, as far as like previous gardens and stuff, I still grew a lot of food. So take advice from those that you want to mimic, absolutely, and then try your best. Let's plant spinach. The lettuce is planted. Now the tag says 8 inches apart. I didn't measure them. I think it's closer than that. Some people are probably going to say that's too close. Some people may say that's too far apart. I don't know, but this is what fit there, and that's what we're going to do. I don't let them get to heads. I cut them as, you know, cut and come again. So I think it's going to be fine. Now we're going to leave whatever that is, and hopefully figure that out at some point. If not, we can come back and stick something else in this, which I'm pretty sure is lettuce or spinach. We're going to maybe not. Is that spinach? I think that's spinach. We're gonna plant spinach kind of near there. It could, you know, then kale and broccoli. I've just loosely laid out kind of where the plants are going to go. I am putting, like I said, just a little bit of mushroom compost in with each of these plants. These plants, raised beds, you do need to amend them, but I have been amending them over the fall and winter with some of our rabbit manure and some, like when I change out my little tiny brooder box. You don't want to use like a lot of fresh chicken litter on your garden. It's too hot. But like when I change out the you'll see a few wood chips here and there. When we have a small brooder box and I change out those, I do just dump it in here, and the chickens have been in here scratching it up and moving it around, which is really good. So that is why I'm just putting a little bit of mushroom compost in with each of the little plants. I am not going and putting a whole bunch. Now, next year, depending on if I don't end up putting a bunch of, if I hadn't put in, things over the fall, then I would have probably put in another bag or two of mushroom compost just to keep those nutrients going, or some kind of compost. It doesn't have to be mushroom compost. That's just my favorite. You do what you like. My camera keeps shutting off, so I wouldn't switch the battery. So we'll see how much of this gets filled, right? Anyway, we have our lettuce planted, we have our spinach planted. Now we are moving on to our kale and our Brussels sprouts. Okay, it also says to plant these things like 12 inches apart. Yeah, that didn't happen. That's okay. Okay, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right, I gotta move my bag out of the way. Let's read the little tag before we plant them. Yeah, we're probably not going to plant those that far apart either. See how I read the instructions, and then because I wanted to know, and then I was like, well, I'm not going to listen. Anyone else like that? Okay, we're just going to shake these out. It's fine. It's fine. That'll be okay. There we go. All right, now let's set them out. All right, let's do like one. Okay, that whole garden bed is planted. I'm really excited. Originally, I really wanted these garden beds to be pretty much all flowers, eventually, like a little cottage garden up here. But you know what? We don't have all of our raised beds in this year, and so we're just going to make it work, right? And so these need to be vegetable gardens again this year. They need to be vegetable gardens. That's okay. That doesn't mean that they can't be flowers in the future. And doesn't mean I can't still plant some flowers other places or in containers and things. So, but I'm going to water it. But it's probably going to rain. So that is... But if I don't water it, it won't rain. You know how it goes. So I'm going to water it, and yeah. While we're here. Okay, those are nice and watered in. I got my designer homestead style fence. Maybe that's what we need to do, right? Can we all get on board with a homestead style? Like, you know how the farmhouse style was a trend? Like it's just homestead style, but it's like, you know, where you make things out of whatever the heck you got laying around. My turkeys think I'm funny. Okay, look at the baby chicks being big chickens and coming out of the coop. They ran around all everywhere yesterday. Baby chicks. Again, there's multiple places to get water for the animals. I'll try to have plenty. Dolly's over there. She's doing so good. I swear, as soon as I turn on the camera, there's a big gust of wind. All right, there's one more thing I want to plant. While that's filling up, there is one more thing I would like to get planted today. So I'm going to run in and grab that while I've got just a few minutes. So over here we have a couple blackberry bushes that I planted last year. My intention was to get started on, oops, oh, I was trying to set that up there anyway. My intention was to try to get started on some berries and some perennial things like that, but I didn't get very far. So again, I would like to plant some bigger ones. This one looks really sad. This one had like one little green thing and it kind of broke. The other one looks pretty decent. But anyway, those blackberries are doing pretty good. They got some new growth this year. They'll take a few years to get established. Like I said, if I bought bigger ones, it had been done sooner, but that's okay. So we're going to get the varieties I have are Northland, and then the other one is Patriot. I don't know if this space is really eventually where I want my berries. I don't have a lot of room here, but I do need to get them planted, and so it's gonna do for now. I can always transplant them. It's not the best, but I can do that. Okay, that was a pretty productive morning. It's about noon, and I am going to go in and grab something for lunch and feed my family some lunch. And then, oh, I said Jacob's still gone, so he'll get it something when he gets back. But then we are going to start on getting ready for the small animal sale. That'll be in the next video. I think I've talked enough for this video. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining us. Please hit like and subscribe just to follow our journey. We really appreciate it if you would subscribe and just be with us as I can't wait to see in 5 years what this farm looks like, what we've been able to get established, the things that we're putting in the ground. Today, the orchard and the blueberries, in 5 years, will we have like a beautiful harvest of things? In 5 years, we'll have something die. Just try to be realistic, and you never know. But anyway, thank you guys so much again for spending time with us here on our homestead. We'll see you next time. Bye, friends.